Have you ever watched yourself spin your wheels without getting anywhere? You know you want things to be different, but somehow you just can't seem to make it work. Oh, man, I've been there so many times, I can't even count. And in this episode, I'm going to be sharing the 3 things that I did to get out of my own way. Hope this helps. Let's dig in. How much longer can you afford to wait before taking control of your time and finances? What would life look like with a passive income from an online business that you could build from anywhere? If you had the support and the resources to succeed, what kind of impact could you make for yourself and your family? On this podcast, you will find simple solutions to help you start and grow your own online business that will pay you daily, even when you are enjoying adventures with your loved ones. My mission is to equip you to be wealthy in both time and money with digital marketing skills, tips to overcome adversity, and steps to living out your purpose. If you are ready to say yes to a more rewarding and fulfilling life where you are making a bigger impact and transforming people's lives, then you're going to love this podcast. Hey, my name is Melanie. I'm a wife, a mother, and a blessed believer. I tried over the years many different side hustles to try and make a passive income and to live this life of freedom that everybody talks about. But what I finally realized is that I needed a step-by-step plan to keep me focused and consistent. I needed to link arms with others who were doing what I wanted to do, and now I'm excited to get to share with you what I'm learning. If you are ready to finally find freedom and own your own online business that helps you to never miss another family fun adventure and to make an impact while sitting on the beach, then this podcast is for you. So strap on your hiking boots and let's climb this mountain together. Oh man, I've got such an awesome story to share with you. So inside of our community, we have this tab called Wins, and this is where people every day, every single day, there are pages and pages and pages of people posting wins of things that they've accomplished or, whatever. And I just thought this one was really cool because this lady, Leslie, she got a notification on her phone that she had made a $900 sale while she was at Costco. And that actually pushed her over the edge to be now a 6-figure earner with her digital online business. And she said that she started this 15 months ago, and she was super skeptical when she started, very, very afraid, and she had no money to invest. So there was lots riding on her success in this, with this program. But she said she knew that, she said she knew in her gut that this was the right step for her, and that she had to do something in order to change her financial picture and that of her family's. So she said, even though it was really hard, and about 7.5 months ago, she almost quit, she kept going, and she's super proud of herself because she's now a 6-figure earner. So I think that's a pretty good reason to keep going. That was inspiration for me even, right? Because sometimes you think it seems so far away, but yet when you hear of other people's success, it always just is like, oh yeah, if she can do it, then anyone can do it, right? And so that's why I want to share this with you, because this actual episode is kind of focusing on, some of the tough stuff. So that's why I thought this would be an inspiration for you to hear. And if you want to know how you can start your own online business with no tech skills, you don't have to build a website. You've got automated sales system, so an automated website, an automated email follow-up system, all done for you, or done with you, I should say. We do have to add a little bit of our own stuff in, but it's mostly all done. And we are taught that we don't have to call people. We don't have to bug friends and family. We don't have to spend hours and hours and hours in the DMs, trying to chase people. We use something called attraction marketing, which is the pulling of customers to you instead of pushing hard to find them and to get them. It's a much nicer, less stress way to build a business, in my opinion. And I have had a few experiences with different kinds of businesses. So this one to me is my favorite by far, this attraction marketing stuff. And this is all learned inside of this program. So if this is something that excites you and something that you want to know more about, then head on over to www.dailypaid blessings, dailypaidblessings.com. Sorry if I said that too fast. And you can just get a hold of the blueprint there. Just put your email in and, you can just check it out for yourself. And if it's not for you, well, no big deal. You just unsubscribe, but it doesn't hurt to know, right? To know what it is, because this is truly changing the lives of many, many, many families. Okay. Hope to see you there. Hey friend, welcome back. I am excited and a little bit nervous to do this podcast episode because things are changing for me. I got to tell you a story. So this podcast started with the idea that my husband and I were going to do this together, and that it kind of had a different focus, but I couldn't seem to get really concrete on what I was supposed to talk about on each episode, and like what the goal of it was. And I just couldn't seem to get it to come together. And it felt like a struggle. I have to admit, the whole thing kind of felt like a struggle. And I contemplated stopping this podcast because I thought, maybe this isn't the right way. Maybe this isn't the right thing. So all these thoughts and all these things were going through my head since I started this podcast. I believe I started this in July. It is now November. And so there was lots of times in there when I thought, I think I'm going to quit. I think I'm just going to stop doing it. No one's even going to notice. It doesn't matter. Right. And these are the thoughts and the stories that I was telling myself. But I kept coming back to the fact that, I love podcasting. I really like podcasting. But not only that, when my husband and I started this digital marketing business together, well, in fact, he started it first. It was supposed to be for him to replace his income as he retired from carpentry. And so I wasn't going to really have any part in it. I was going to keep, doing what I do. But I couldn't not. I love marketing and entrepreneurship and like starting business and all of these things. I love it. And because I helped him get started, right? Like I helped him to understand all the stuff and get it all set up and do the thing. And the more that I dug in and the more that I listened to the trainings and things that were inside of this program, I was like, this is too cool. Like I can't not share this. I can't not tell people about this. But anyway, so the idea with this podcast is that this was going to be run together. But because I couldn't kind of really come to a place of clarity with it, he kind of fell away from the podcast, and it wasn't his favorite thing to do. And he's not that crazy about speaking in front of people. So it was kind of a weird situation. So needless to say, as I floundered around for the last few months trying to figure out what I was supposed to be doing with this podcast, I realized that I was 100% in my own way stopping myself from something that I believed that, God had kind of called me to do. And so why I wanted to share this podcast and why I feel like a little bit nervous is just because of the vulnerability, right? Like I want to be really transparent with you about just some of my struggles, because I'm not the end all be all. You know what I mean? Like there's lots of people that probably know more than me. However, I think that I'm going to be able to really talk to the women who are wanting to start out, because I am just starting out, right? So I feel like it'll be very relatable as I share my trials and my struggles and things and the things that I've learned, so that maybe your path can be a little bit shorter than mine even. So that's why I really wanted to kind of share the 3 things that I had to do to get out of my own way, because we can quite often be the ones that stop ourselves from success. And it's taken me many years to sort of figure out that I do that. We think, okay, I'm past that part. Now I should be done. But the reality is that I think we continue to need to grow, need to improve things. Like I don't believe that we've actually ever arrived. I believe that life and business is a journey of growing and learning and changing. I heard this lady, I can't remember her name, but she does an amazing YouTube video. And she's a Christian business owner, and she talks about coming to business coming to business, like from a Christian perspective. And she said something the other day that really kind of settled in me. It was just like, we have to realize where our weak spots are and where our strengths are. Obviously, we want to work from our strengths, but we also want to improve our weak spots, right? So, what are the 3 things that I had to do in order to get myself clear? And why is that important to you? Well, because it's going to change the way this podcast is going to go. So if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you're probably thinking, I wonder what she's up to. Like, one minute she's talking about parenting, and the next minute she's talking about business, and she's still kind of rattling around. And so from this point on, I'm pretty sure my podcast will have a new title. There's going to be some change, a new cover art. Things are going to change. So I'm kind of drawing the line in the sand right here, right now. This is where I get really serious. This is where I stop, just doing the thing. I'm going to get better at doing the thing. Every podcast, I want to get a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. And so that's why I wanted to just let you know that if you've been here since the beginning, then things are changing now, and you will start to see a shift in how I show up, and just how I, because to me, I've always wanted to be, I never wanted to be the expert, like I'm always the one that's like, I'd rather be the one that's intrigued about things, interested in things, wanting to learn things, because I don't want to get to that place where I'm full of pride, full of like, I know it all. I'm the only one that has the solutions. I don't want to be that person. I want to be the one that's like, always open and, hey, like, what else could I learn? And what else could I learn? And so that's why I want to shift my podcast to be more about sharing what I'm learning, as opposed to like acting like I'm the expert. So anyway, be prepared. We're changing things up. So this podcast is kind of, going to be my new starting ground. So what are the 3 things that I had to do? So the first thing is that when I thought about starting this podcast, I was unclear, and I was, I didn't have all the answers. I definitely didn't know what I was really supposed to be doing with this podcast. I didn't even really know what my vision was, except that I wanted to impact women. I wanted to equip women to make an income online. And so what did I have to do? The first thing that I realized that I had to do is I had to start scared. And that, I think, is kind of one of the things that a lot of successful people will tell you, is that many of them started scared. Most of them that I've talked to have started scared. And so that's the first thing, that if you have this calling on your life, if you feel like there's something more that you're supposed to be doing with your life, but you just don't know where it is, you don't know how to start, you don't know, there's just too many questions, I'm going to tell you to jump into something, take the step, because the sea can't part until you actually take the step. So start scared. Be scrappy. Don't worry about perfection. Just get in and start. And you will learn as you go. That's exactly what I'm finding, is if I wouldn't have started this podcast, even being as unclear as I was, I wouldn't have known that I could have got clarity and that things are, going to get better. So start scared, get in, do the work, and don't worry about the results just yet, because there's a process to having an online business. There's a journey that we all have to go through, and that journey can look a little bit different for different people. And that's one thing that this community that I'm a part of, is that some people come in and have it seems as if they have quick, instant success. And then there's other people that it seems like it takes them a little bit longer. And it's because of the journey that we're on. It's because of the skills that we've learned in the past. It's because of the confidence that we have, or the lack thereof. All of these things play a part. And so we have to get really good at just getting in and getting dirty, and then figuring it out as we go. So that leads me to my second point, which is, don't be afraid to get help. I really, oh man, like I think about all the things that I've tried to do in the online business space, or just business in general, like network marketing, affiliate marketing, direct sales. What else have I tried? Having my own course. I built my own course, wrote a book, like all of these things, right? Because that's what somebody told me was going to be the good thing or the best thing. And many of those things I started to do by myself. And I didn't think that I could afford to get help. I didn't think that I could, well, here's the other thing. A lot of times I did pay for help, but I wouldn't necessarily listen to the help that was given to me. That was another thing that was huge for me is that I would pay for a course and then maybe I wouldn't finish the course, or I wouldn't do it the way that they told me to do it. I would think, okay, well, I'm going to do it my own way, right? That was a big one for me. Another one is that I wouldn't think that I could afford to invest in myself, which is the wrong way to look at it, because I believe now that we ourselves investing in our skills, in our mindset, in our abilities is the highest paid ROI on any investment, because that's one that can't be taken away from us, not unless we're dead or, we can't think anymore. The time and the money that we put into investing into ourselves, it will not be lost. It could be lost if we invest it in the stock market or something, right? Real estate, it could be lost. So to me, I think the biggest ROI is investing in ourselves. So don't be afraid to invest. Don't be afraid to get the training, get the help, but also don't be so sure that you've got it figured out that you don't listen to what is being taught to you, because that has really gotten in my way a lot is just thinking that I got this all figured out. I can do this by myself. I don't need help. It's not true. That's not true. I've failed many times because of that particular mindset or idea, whatever. And then the third one that I really found has been important to me recently is to pay attention to the numbers and not my feelings. So what does that mean? That means that anything that we do, whether it's a podcast or a YouTube channel or a TikTok video or a Facebook post or a whatever the thing is, there are analytics that are connected to it on some level. You can find them on any one of those platforms. You can find the analytics to the things that you're doing. And it's important that we pay attention to them, because without data, we then run on emotion. And our emotion will many, many, many times tell us it's not happening fast enough. This is stupid. It's not working. Nobody cares. Nobody's listening. All of the things, right? All of the things. And so when we just rely on our emotions, well, what's going to happen is, and again, I'm speaking from experience, is that we stop and we start. We stop and we start. We stop and we start, because our emotions tell us that it's not working. So that's it. I'm going to quit. I'm going to give up. I'm going to try something different. And one of the lessons, man, that has just been hammered to me over and over and over again is this stopping and restarting, or starting something new. Consistency is the golden ticket. It's the thing that's going to get us where we want to be. I read this book recently called The Slight Edge. Amazing book. You should really look it up. It's on Amazon, I believe. But he talks about how we should, if we only got one, if we didn't give up and we kept doing the thing and we got 1% better every day, like how quickly it would seem for a while that we weren't moving. It would seem for a while that we weren't getting anywhere, right? But if you stay at it and you stay consistent over the long haul, you will get there faster, because all of a sudden there's this thing called momentum. So, when we're doing the thing and we're doing the thing and we're doing the thing, and every day we get a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better, it's going to not change for quite a while. But when it changes, it's going to change fast, because we've built up all this momentum behind the thing that we're doing, and it's radically going to, transform us. So the ticket is to never give up, is to keep being consistent, but also, and the way I found to be consistent is to pay attention to the analytics. And I gotta be honest, this is something that's it's kind of scared me. I really didn't like numbers. I didn't like looking at my bank account. I didn't like looking at the numbers of, what the analytics said about whatever platform I might be using or whatever. I didn't want to look at the numbers because I'm always like, what if I don't like what I see? What if it's scary? But here's the thing. It's scary to stay in the same position year after year after year after year because we're not willing to do the work to make the change, right? That's what's scary. And so this is something that I've really had to dig into is looking at the numbers and being okay with the numbers, because the numbers are going to keep me consistent. Because this is what I started to do. I started to write down all of my analytics for the channels that I'm on the most, or the places that I'm on the most, which is my podcast, my email, TikTok, YouTube. Well, YouTube I'm not on. I'm not very consistent on YouTube yet. But anyway, I've started to just track over the last couple months. Every Sunday, I just sit down and go, okay, what are my numbers for this last week? What are my numbers? And I just write them down. And now as I'm like every week the numbers are going up. But if I would have just relied on emotion, I probably would have stopped a lot of these things a long time ago. So those are the things that just kind of popped into my head about the things that I would tell you if you were feeling like you were in your own way, if you were stopping yourself from going where you're pretty sure you could go, it's to start scared. Whatever the thing is that you feel called to do, or you want to dive into, start scared. Just start somewhere. Get something done and you will improve as you go. The second one would be to don't be too prideful to ask for help, even if that means paying for help. And then once you have paid for the help, take the advice and do the thing the way that they tell you to do the thing, because that's why they're successful and it's going to help you get there too. And then the third one is to not follow your feelings, but actually pay attention to the analytics or the numbers of whatever it is, right? Like whatever the thing is that you're trying to do, make sure that you pay attention to the numbers instead of how do I feel, because that's going to lead us nowhere good. So all it's going to do is cause us to quit the thing that we are being called to push through. Because here's the other thing is that everything that we want is on the outside of our comfort zone. So in order for us to get out of our comfort zone in any area, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard and it's going to be uncomfortable. But if we don't go there, then we're not going to get to the actual success, to have the thing that makes us feel fulfilled. So I pray, my friend, that this, just inspires you somehow to know that you can do it. I believe in you. I absolutely can see your success, because it's there for all of us. We just have to be willing to do the things and get better each and every time, each and every day, to see it come to fruition. So I pray this blesses you, my friend, and I will see you again next week. And probably by next week, there should be new cover art and a new name. So I hope that, you know what I would love, actually, if you could email me at melanie@buildingimpactmakers.com. That's kind of my umbrella of like all my resources. If you email me on that email, and just if you have because here's what I'm thinking. I want my podcast to talk about the journey, and I'm thinking of a couple of titles: The Prosperous Path Journey, or Journey to the Prosperous Path. One or the other. I'm kind of, but then there's also a part of me that's like something to do with entrepreneur. So like something, what would you love to see on a podcast name be? If you have any opinions about that and you would be willing to share them, I would love to, I'd love to hear from you, because ultimately I'm doing this podcast for you, right? to help you. So, so if that's something that you would like to help me with, then just email me with some suggestions at melanie@buildingimpactmakers.com. Okay, my friend, take care and God bless. Thanks for listening. I pray that this episode blessed you. And if you do feel blessed, would you please share it with someone else who may need to hear this information? And also, if you could just take a couple of seconds and write a written review, I would absolutely appreciate it. Because A, it lights me up, warms my heart to hear from you, but also it helps other people to find this podcast who may need this information. So I thank you, my friend. I'll be praying for you, and I look so forward to seeing you on the other side. Take care and God bless.